we're so happy to be back in Hong Kong. We were here in 2015 and 2016 doing the WMA Commission on waste, and now we're back doing three things. One is we're participating in the World Forum of Sustainable Production and Consumption, and we have a pop-up exhibition here in WMA, here, there, and everywhere. And we also did a workshop in LabSab 1, which was fabulous, some investigating marine debris with a group of 18 people that arrived. The problem with these beaches, not in Hong Kong, in the world, is that trash is still being produced, plastic is still being produced and consumed and consumed.
The layer is
it's going on deep already, that you walk and you feel...
It doesn't feel like solid sand.
Styrofoam.
Because it's just so full of styrofoam that the sand just became softer.
It's a very awkward feeling. Well, there are very many places in the world that have that problem. So you have bigger plastics in Hong Kong, which means it has degraded less. And in Australia, there's a lot of microplastics and we found much more life forms in Australia than here, which basically means it's been longer at sea. Well, we got a fellowship from the Peabody Museum in Harvard to continue the research we began here, which is very exciting because we started working with oceanographers that helped us determine the ocean currents and how we could follow Nicolas Chess' bottle cap around the world, our main obsession. So that took us to two options. One was Australia, the other one was Hawaii, and we decided to explore Australia. And one of the things that was fabulous about the second trip is it's very complex, but at least a new obsession began, which is the hybridity, the hybrid nature of plastic that has life forms growing on it. So now we're doing a very profound research on microorganisms that are living and thriving on plastic surfaces. It's very interesting to think about what that means in terms of how life is taking over some human-made materials. So we began that research, and we've been talking to a lot of biologists of Harvard, and now it's been discovered that there's a lot in the bottom of the ocean, which for us is super amazing because that means it's way beyond our capability of working around things at this point. Yeah.
We didn't know too much about deep sea, right? A lot of scientists are doing a lot of research about how the different organisms live there. There are part of us that are living there that is trash. It just became an obsession, the way that the different materials and the objects react to different kind of environmentals. So for me, it's very interesting to see the way that the materials change and also nature change with creating new ways of life.
So I think our art-based research is different in the sense that we have a multi-dimensional approach to the phenomena. We don't only use facts and analysis, but we also use drawing, photography, research that doesn't only entail scientific facts, but also history and the way objects have evolved. All this we combine into a narrative that is not 100%, it doesn't have a central hypothesis. We let the objects and the material lead us to different types of answers. We're not assuming something from the beginning, we're letting the things lead the way and take us through their own paths. Because we had never heard of anything like bryozoas before we started this project, and suddenly we have become the fans #1 of these tiny creatures that proliferate in plastic, and we have contacted all these specialists around the world that are working on bryozoas and the way they live and thrive, and so it becomes passionate because we're also very geared towards cross-disciplinary work. So we're not only talking with people that are involved in photography or in drawing, but also with biologists and also with sociologists. So that also enriches our projects very much.
And here was the beginning. We found one of the lighters that we are presenting here that have a bryozoa in. So it was, I don't know, for me everything has a reason. So here was the beginning, and then when we start the Australian project, we just start to discovering more of these kind of objects with forms of life just living there. So.
Yeah, so the coming back this time has been fabulous because instead of coming and just seeing what we found as we did in the first place, this time we were very much obsessed with looking for life forms. We never really finished a project. It's a tragedy because then now our mind is subdividing in different spheres, but it's quite amazing. And a bit of the setup has to do with this idea of leaning over and the action we always do. It's super important for us, the way our research is based on going out in the city or to a beach and collecting objects. This intimacy that begins a relation between objects and us, and this action of always leaning down is important. So you'll find the pedestals on a very low level because it's this invitation to lean over and look carefully and then just repeat the action elsewhere. And so, yeah, there's objects with magnifying glasses so that the different life forms can be more appreciated a bit more. There's also part of our logbook of our Australia project. So it's just like a fragment of how the research on life and plastic began. Yeah, so there's these details that are enriching the perspective from last time, and it's a way we work on all the time.
I think that the exhibition is, I mean, we're showing part of what we shown 3 years ago, but we make the workshop with this intention of looking to specific things, no? Like these hybrids. So we just decide to put some of the objects from that point of view, no? Like integrating all these hybrids that we found, but we really wanted to amplify the perspective in that part of the project. So you find here part of the research from 3 years ago, but also you find like the contemporary objects that we found 3 days ago. So it's like I don't know, more a new vision that comes from 3 years ago, but now it's just amplified.